Welcome, IT changemakers, to the DEX Show with Tim Flower and Tom McGraw. Let's get into it.
Where do you see your EUC career going in, say, the next 5 years? How do you plan for it? What relationships do you need to develop with technology vendors? What skills do you plan on acquiring to stay ahead of the curve? To explore these questions and more, we're joined today, Tim and I, by two guys we met in Boston, at Experience Boston, I should say. Last year, we liked them both very, very much. We wanted to have them on the show. They're from Edward Jones, which is a fairly well-known financial services firm, as you might know. And they are Tom Rodgers, who looks after digital experience there. Hi, Tom. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Great pleasure. And Logan Stelly, who looks after digital UX and engineering. Hey, Logan. Great to see you again, mate.
Hey, nice to talk to you.
Absolutely. So let's hear a bit about you both first of all to set the scene before we delve into this theme today. So, Tom, since this episode is very much, as I say, about the evolving EUC career, let's hear from you first of all. So, tell us how you got into IT first of all, and where the career has taken you so far.
So I started in the help desk, and I'll recommend help desk is a great place to start your career. You get kind of that landscape of the entire company. You get to see and hear a lot of different things. But from the help desk, I went to the Citrix stack. So kind of worked my way all the way up to the top of Citrix. And then there was an opportunity where a new team focused solely on user experience kind of was being stood up. And I took the opportunity to jump into it. And from there, it was just kind of understanding what does a user experience team mean? How do you measure user experience? And that led me down a couple tool selections, got into some DEX tools, and started kind of traveling the country, doing site visits, talking to people directly one-on-one, understanding their frustrations, and it really took a lot. Took back that feedback live from them. It's pretty good, pretty amazing experience.
And you used the phrase when we met in Boston. I never heard it, and I liked it a lot because I'm a Mad Max fan. Road warrior, right? That's what you're referring to?
Great movie.
Yeah, I mean it was out there on the road like a traveling user experience salesman, if you will.
Yeah. Au contraire. You weren't selling anything. You were like a doctor on the road, I'd say. So I'm not a salesperson, I'm sure. And Logan, what about you? What was your path?
Yeah, mine was a little different. I started from a app packaging background and then moved on to the desktop end user compute engineering and then onto the DEX side. So I really had that background in scripting and automation. So I was able to kind of leverage that throughout my career in terms of automating some of the desktop build and management processes, and then onto automating some of the end user experience monitoring and improvement processes.
And Logan, do your two roles kind of intersect quite a lot? Maybe give us an overview of what they collectively encompass.
I would say hugely, yeah. Having that understanding of some of those lower level processes and how things work on the system is really big for being able to take something that you're seeing on the deck side and then get down to, well, why are we seeing that? And then where do we need to look to find an improvement that we can make?
So, Tom, let's go back to that Road Warrior. This is an awesome set of movies. I almost feel like taking a pause and going watching one now, but we'll save that for later. My career at the Hartford, I was an insurance company for 20 years, very much a desk job, except for the last year, maybe when I got into employee experience as well. What did you like about that travel? What did you really like about being that road warrior versus some of the pains and things you didn't like so much?
Yeah, I think getting out there, talking face to face to people, really understanding and seeing their frustrations like in real time. Just a little story here. One of the sites I went to, there was a lady that I sat with. She talked about how her job was paid based on how many things she processed a day, and then she showed me spinning wheels and errors and just the steps that she would do just to get through the day, and how it was impacting her life, and like she wasn't meeting her goals. Like
Yeah.
being able to hear a story like that, talk to her, like she almost broke down in tears, right? Like it's really impactful to kind of hear that conversation. And then what I didn't like is you're kind of helpless in a way, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm one guy of a one small user experience team, and I can't fix problems of an entire company, right? So that you kind of, it's the good and the bad of being able there to listen, to see that, to take it back to the rest of the company, but then also be helpless in the same state.
Man. So yet to be formally announced, but I'm starting a YouTube channel called the Proactive IT Guy, where we'll start a bit of a community and get up there and tell some stories
Exclusive.
like that. Exclusive Proactive IT Guy. Would love to have you on and tell some of those stories. I traveled to 40 field offices in my time in IT, and the stories that you come back with are just, some of them are just jaw dropping. So I'll give you a shout. In the meantime, Logan, talk a little bit about your professional transition. What was the role? DEX made a huge impact on my career and my career trajectory. Talk a bit about DEX and how that technology played in your career transition.
Yeah, so I came from that desktop engineering background to DEX, which I feel like is a pretty common way that a lot of people go. And for me, being able to go from working a single issue with a single user, you get a ticket, you work an issue, being able to take some of that same troubleshooting methodology and then take and expand that group that you're looking at, who else is having the issue, and then how do we apply that same thing to more people and fix thousands of devices instead of just one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I find that really satisfying because you can take, instead of just helping one person, help hundreds of people at a time. And I think that that's a really easy thing to sell too, right? So in terms of your own career perspective, it's easy to say, look at the big impact I'm having.
So, Tom, in my career change, the next thing, I came here because I wanted to see that oh my god moment over and over again, or maybe the more PC version, the holy cow moment. What became possible for you with this technology that wasn't possible before?
Well, I think kind of Logan alluded to it a little bit, right? Is thinking on a company wide perspective, right? I think without some of this level of detail, this information, you're kind of on the one user, one problem mentality. And then all of a sudden you just get flooded with this data. You can look and see, okay, I have one person, but then you could expand it out to, like Logan said, thousands, right? And then, if I look back on the site visits that I talked about, we were going to the site that yelled the loudest, right?
Right.
And now we can go and look objectively at data and who is actually having the worst performance, and then go figure out why, right? So you're not just going on that subjective feedback from, hey, I think I'm having the worst in the company, right?
It was one of the legendary comments from our CEO when I was in my times in IT. We said to him straight to his face, Liam, we don't know they have issues unless they call us. And this puts that entirely to bed, right? You don't need to worry about the squeaky wheel. You don't need to worry about the people who aren't calling. You can cover it all. And that's the adrenaline that I love to see people get. It's not being the firefighter that solves something at 2 a.m. It's the proactive IT person that solves something at 1 p.m. for 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Logan, talk a little bit more about careers. How important do you think that concept of proactivity is to the end user compute professionals who want to ensure they really secure future opportunities? Can you really stand on being a proactive IT guy to move your career?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think, trends are things moving more proactive. So, while there's always jobs on both sides, you're proactive and reactive. And you'll always need that reactive because you can't predict the future and things will happen. I think that from a career perspective, things are moving more proactive. So jumping to that side earlier, you're going to have a lot greater opportunities. And you can really expand your reach more in terms of the impact you can have. Yeah, I like the fireman perspective there. You always need someone putting out those fires, but you also need someone looking who can prevent those fires from happening in the first place. And doing that frees up some of those reactive resources so you could focus more proactive.
I like to add to that analogy once in a while by saying that there's an IT arsonist in the back room that lit that fire a month ago. Right? And then we show up and we let it smolder for a month, and then we show up as heroes and put the fire out. It's just not sustainable. Tom, what other trends are you seeing in technology? What technology advances do you think are really vital to planning and preparing for future career opportunities in end user compute?
Yeah, I think in the past, there was this concept of the sysadmin that knew everything about everything. And then we had this just boom of new technology come out. Things got really complex and everybody got siloed. I think with this user-centric, user experience mindset that's coming, you kind of have to have a little bit of knowledge on everything again. I think we're going back to that sysadmin know everything about everything mentality, because when to map out a flow of the user experience of what they see day to day, you need to know what they're, what's going on their Windows laptop, what's going on in the Citrix stack with their applications. I mean, take, Logan and I, right? Like we were both kind of siloed into Citrix for me, desktop for him. And then now we're kind of spread across everything, looking at it from a user experience mind. So I think that's going to be something that's kind of changing is being able to kind of not be siloed into one technology, but kind of see a little bit across horizontally.
I would actually suggest that you don't necessarily need to know it all, but you need to see it all, right? It's about visibility
Exactly.
and seeing
Yeah.
what's going on across those stacks, and then getting the right specialist to go deep with a surety that the problem does exist there. Then they've got to go figure it out. So I think it's a really valuable position.
I've been thinking lately a lot about how whatever career you're in at the moment, give or take, technology is offering or threatening in times a lot of change, and with it a lot of opportunity. And often it's the external providers and developers of that technology who you've got to engage with and work with. How do you ensure in your professional life that you make and guide the right investments for your organization and build those relationships right, both for your own future as well as the organization's well-being? As I say, that theme of staying ahead of the curve and working with external vendors to do so.
Yeah, I think that's critical. You have to have a partnership with the vendor that you're working in. There has to be back and forth, working together to both get value from the product. I think it's something that you can help the vendor see things that they don't always see, and then obviously you're getting value from what you're paying for from them, right? I think Logan has a good story about his partnership that he's been doing.
We work pretty closely with our vendors to foster close relationships, because we can help them test new features, and then meet with their product managers, give them our feedback, our ideas, and help guide the product in a way that brings the most value to us. But then to them, it also brings value where they can make improvements to the product in ways that benefits them and their customers. And so together, we can each help each other sort of be better and move the needle in a way that helps everyone.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Logan, another one for you then. What is the future, maybe taking all of this into account, for proactivity, the influence of AI, the influence of vendors in the space and technology? What does the future of the EUC professional look like to you?
I think that it's someone who's deeply in touch with the customer experience, the user-centric design. What are the different employees actually experiencing? And someone who has knowledge in quite a few areas, like you said, who can kind of see over everything, but has maybe not in-depth knowledge, but a little knowledge of a lot of areas. So when they see something, they could go, oh, that's probably an issue with, this. And then they could kind of focus down on what area needs more focus there. But also the ability to be curious and look at issues, dig into issues, and then you could kind of flip some of those findings to be proactive and look to improve the experience in that area that you see a gap.
That's very beautifully said. And last word for you, Tom. I just got to bring it back to the road warrior thing, haven't I? I just like using the phrase. What do you miss about it most?
I think you could send a survey, you could send out these sentiment requests, right? But you don't get the same impact of sitting, talking face to face with somebody, really, seeing what they experience every day. You could try to quantify it into a survey, but you just miss that one-on-one time.
It's the way of the world, guys. It's the way of the world, and we all miss IRL, but we gotta plow ahead. What are you gonna do? But look, guys, it was an absolute pleasure to talk to you both in Boston. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you both today. I would like, on behalf of our DEX Hub editor Sean Malvey, to invite you both to contribute articles to the Hub. I think we'd love to have you on individually or together again as guest authors, because I think you bring something really fresh to the discussion. It's been great to have you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
To make sure that you never miss an episode, subscribe to the show in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast player. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a rating of the show. Just tap the number of stars you think the podcast deserves. If you'd like to learn more about how NextThink can help you improve your digital employee experience, head over to nextthink.com. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.